Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my lives, it's Destin Choice and you're watching Choice TV. So today's video, I feel like it was appropriate for me to get on here and talk about the art and the negativity of pretty privilege. But I more so wanted to cite this entire video around Saweetie. Now, as you all know, Saweetie is a very popular influencer, rapper, musician, and much more. And long story short, there's been a lot of talks on social media because if you guys didn't know, she recently released her famous EP entitled The Single Life. And her EP isn't famous for being good. Her EP is famous for, one, being trash in the eyes of the public, and then also selling 2,000 copies within its first week. And in response to the backlash she received, she went on a Twitter rant saying that she makes music for pretty bitches and that this is a hate parade. And realistically, people are mainly violating her because it really shows that being pretty doesn't sell much. And it really shows that music is pretty much dead. She's not really a great rapper to begin with. She's more so an entertainer. And Eartha Kitt said it the best. Entertainers are just entertainers. They're not artists.
I'm not anti the music. No. I'm anti what is happening to people to accept this music. It's all mechanical now. It's so extremely mechanical that there are no artists anymore. There are no real artists anymore. So someone like myself is very difficult for me to fit into all of this nonsense.
But in fairness, would you not say that there are some pop groups now and some individual entertainers who you would surely give the name artist to?
No.
No? Not at all?
They're only entertainers now. Only entertainers.
Now, anyone that knows a little bit about the music industry knows that first week sales are very, very important. And when you are someone that can't sell a certain amount within the first week, that just shows your engagement and how much in low demand or high demand you are as an entertainer. And if your records don't sell, then more than likely these companies who sponsor you and pay for you aren't going to really give you as much money as you'd like. Saweetie has been rapping since around 2014, but she really took rapping seriously around 2016. And then eventually her song Icy Girl blew up around 2018. And this song was pretty viral. It was a viral hit. It was all over social media and it has damn near, or if not more than 100 million views on YouTube. However, a big part of why Saweetie is so famous is because she's pretty. And that's why I want to talk about why pretty privilege is a negative thing. Now, Saweetie did an interview roughly around a year ago, and she basically talked about how pretty privilege kind of works against her.
It was a way, it was kind of, how do I say this? It wasn't a privilege for me. I was judged. Rumors were made up about me. And it was kind of always working against me. And it's just like, for me, I never thought of pretty as glamorizing my existence as a human being.
Her project went double styrofoam because, simply put, a lot of people don't give a fuck about her other than the way she looks. Now, let me use this as an example. Growing up in high school or in middle school, most of us had a popular girl at school. There was a popular girl at school where everybody thought she was so pretty and everybody knew who she was. She was the athlete, the smart girl, the cheerleader, and much more. But everyone only knows her because she's pretty. If she was out here looking like Rosie O'Donnell or looking like Precious, more than likely the it girl at your high school or middle school or college wouldn't really be the it girl. People more so gravitate towards an image, i.e. if you're easy on the eyes, people are going to fuck with you and like you for absolutely no reason and not even know why. And people who are pretty, like if you're watching this and you're one of those people who have pretty privilege to an extent, you know what I mean. People realistically give you opportunities and you have an easy way in life because you're attractive. You're more likely to get a job at a Foot Locker. You're more likely to get a job at any job you want because you're attractive. The person who's interviewing you is more than likely going to hire you because you're easy on the eyes. You're more than likely to get a job as a bartender if you're a good-looking man or a good-looking woman. You're more than likely going to get that job as a server if you physically look good. You're more than likely going to have people walk you to your car and navigate you and help you get through life and offer to pay for your stuff and give you free money and give you free food if you're attractive. If you're attractive, it comes with benefits and privileges. However, being pretty only gets you into the room and it doesn't get you a seat at the table. The thing about people who are pretty, a lot of people who are pretty have a lot of low self-esteem. And I say that because people who are pretty oftentimes are limited to just their looks. Most people who are pretty don't even believe that they're as pretty as society perceives them to be. People who are pretty oftentimes have low self-esteem because they genuinely believe that they can't do more than just be attractive because that's what the world has literally limited them to. Saweetie has over 13 million followers. She averages around 500,000 likes per photo on Instagram, gets thousands of retweets, has hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter, gets hundreds of thousands of followers and views on her YouTube channel, But no one cared enough to insert their credit card number and purchase her music. And that just goes to show you that Saweetie is simply only famous for being famous. And the reason why pretty privilege can work against you is because most people don't give a fuck about what you have to say. You just have to stand there and look good. Then it's also important to bring up the fact that she was also in a public relationship with one of the Migos, Quavo, which makes things kind of awkward because, as we all know, Takeoff recently passed away. So that gave people more leverage to attack her and come for her low album sales. But that alone branded her. People gravitate towards relationships, and being in a relationship alone can catapult your stardom because it's automatically a collaboration, whether she believes it or not. It's also safe to admit that her looks do not match her artistry or her projects. Let's be honest, Doja Cat is known for being a very beautiful woman. Same thing with Beyonce, but you better believe that people gravitate more towards Beyonce's art more than they actually gravitate towards her looks. Beyonce could be as pretty as she wants, but if her music was trash and she was singing like Ice JJ Fish, nobody would ever give a fuck about her and people stopped paying attention to her. Saweetie is one of those people where if she were to make an OnlyFans, I guarantee you she would have got more subscriptions on her OnlyFans than she got album sales because there's so many people who are infatuated with her body, her looks, and her appearance. And nobody really cares about your music. It's sad to say, but Nicki Minaj said it the best. And you guys know how I feel about Nicki Minaj. But in spite of that, Nicki Minaj is saying some real shit when she says a lot of people genuinely are just popular just to be popular, but y'all don't have a fan base that actually likes you for your music.
Come in one day and the next day, you trying to categorize yourself with people who've been fucking working and putting their blood, sweat, and tears in this shit for 15 and 20 motherfucking years? And then that album come out and you can clearly see you haven't built up a loyal fan base yet who actually likes your fucking music. And then what they start doing is they start digging the hole deeper for themselves.
Your fan base simply just follows you on Instagram because they're bored and have no one else to follow. You know, we all follow somebody that's aesthetically appealing, whether it be a male or a woman. And let's be honest for a second. Most of us wouldn't give a fuck if that popular and very attractive male that we follow or woman that we followed released a book. Or let's say they had a clothing line. I guarantee y'all 95% of y'all aren't supporting their clothing line. 95% of y'all aren't joining their Patreon. 80% of y'all aren't going to go stream their podcast. Most of y'all are probably going to go to their OnlyFans. I'm sure thousands of y'all will go looking for their nudes because you only care about them for their looks. Nothing about their energy or personality stood out other than the way they look. And that's a very shallow thing to say, but that's why a lot of people who are pretty try to use pretty to their advantage or try to abuse pretty privilege. Realistically, a lot of people who are pretty have only been limited to their looks. And that's not me just saying this to be negative. That's me being completely honest. A lot of y'all who are pretty are simply just limited to your looks. You've had a lot of things handed to you because you're attractive. And nobody's talking about your work ethic. We're talking about the way you look. The way you look has opened doors for you. And it's a sad, sad world to live in because a lot of pretty people feel like they can't do more because the world always underestimates them. So they always take the easy route because they're scared of failing or they're scared of being the pretty dummy. But that's what we have in this world. We have a lot of pretty dummies. Pretty and dumb don't miss because once you hit your 40s and 50s and 60s, you might be pretty still, but best believe that your value goes down a lot. Your value goes down a lot. That's why people who are pretty end up being bitter and jealous as they age. That's why you got to make sure you have something to fall back on. You better be smart too. Not to say Saweetie's not smart. Saweetie's a very intelligent woman, has a lot going on for herself, but your music won't go anywhere. I think she'd be better off as a judge for the X Factor. I think she'd be better off as an actress. I think she should be a chef for a cooking show on Netflix. I think she'd be better off as a YouTuber. I think that's the best way she could brand herself. But I feel like every time I go on the radio and I hear Saweetie's music, every time I hear, now that's my best friend, she's a real bad bitch, got her own. Like, who the fuck is requesting that shit? Nobody is going on their phone and requesting for Saweetie's music to be played. Not one of y'all have ever said, oh my god, play Saweetie's new song or play that new Saweetie. None of y'all have done that. Saweetie is just an entertainer. Nobody cares about who she is or what she has to offer because people just like to look at her like, I don't care what this bitch is saying, but she's pretty. But let me ask you a question real quick. How many people do you follow on YouTube or Instagram just because they're attractive? Don't worry, bitch. I'll wait. You probably follow thousands of people merely because they're attractive. Let's be honest. There's that one person that you follow that you don't give a fuck about at all. You have no idea about their personality. You have no idea about their character. You have no idea what they do for a living. But yet you follow them because they post ass shots on Instagram, or they post videos of them flexing their six pack or their nice body, or showing their dick print, or showing their body off all the time on Instagram. Most of us follow people who are aesthetically attractive and we don't know anything about them at all. For example, the porn star you follow, the Instagram model you follow, that model boy that you follow, if he were to drop a book right now, would you actually go buy his book? Probably not, because you don't give a fuck about his character. You just like to look at him. The same thing goes for a lot of people who make music. There are so many dudes that I followed at some point who were simply just Instagram models, and then they got to a point where they were putting out their music, and every time they posted stuff about their music, their engagement went from like 12,000 likes of them posting a regular picture of themselves being attractive, and then when they would post their music, nobody cared or tweeted it. If your artistry doesn't make me feel something, boop, you better believe no one's buying that shit. Let me give you guys a good example. A lot of times people always ask me, how do I get so many views on my YouTube videos? I usually say this: the reason why my videos do so well and why I get so many views is because I'm completely real, and I also don't give a fuck. I keep it completely real with my audience. A lot of people like me and listen to me because I'm relatable. I'm like that homeboy that you could just sit down, chill with, smoke with, eat with, and have a great debate with and a great convo with. And that's why people fuck with me. That's why I have that certain energy that attracts to me, or why people are attracted to my channel and brand, because I'm relatable. People can kind of connect with me. I'm not like a mega good looking person. I'm not like Idris Elba or some shit. I'm not like a bodybuilder, but people like me because of my energy and my personality. People don't follow me because they like the way I look. I know damn sure I ain't ugly, but people follow me because of my character, who I am as a person, and the kind of things and the kind of energy that I attract. And that's why people like me. Saweetie is the complete opposite of that. People like her because of how she looks. Looks are very artificial. Looks fade. Once you see someone that's good looking, you completely dust it off. But people will never forget how you make them feel. People gravitate towards people who make them feel things. And people making you feel by you just being attractive, or you just looking decent, or them just being sexually attracted to you, that fades over time. So take this as a great lesson to be more than just attractive. If you're one of those people who is seen as attractive, whether you're a man or a woman, try to strive to be more than that. Because people will respect you if you show them that you're more than just your looks. People will respect you if you're polite, you're respectful, you hold yourself accountable, and you actually know how to deliver something great. People respect you when you don't make your looks the bulk of your entire personality. Your looks should not be a part of your image, because you are more than just your looks. You are not your looks. Your looks are just what's on the outside. It's all about your spirit, and that's what people can connect with. And if people connected with Saweetie's story, her spirit, maybe she would have sold more records. Maybe people would be able to connect with her story. There's not really much of Saweetie's story that we can connect with. Saweetie was a young, mixed girl who grew up in a very privileged lifestyle, grew up in the Bay Area. She never struggled for income. She never struggled for money a day in her life. Her parents are very well off. Her mom was a very famous video vixen in the late 90s and early 2000s. Her dad was an athlete. She's related to Gabrielle Union. She's related to celebrities. She's not relatable. She's not. And I feel like now that she had all these surgeries, like these BBLs and these breast implants, and the fact that she's already rich, and the fact that she's glamorously pretty, there's nothing about Saweetie that we can connect with. I am someone you can relate with because I have a story, or you have a story that someone can connect with, and that's why people support your movement and your brand. Doja Cat, beautiful girl, but people love how quirky she is and how laid back she is when she's on live talking to her fans. Saweetie is not someone you can relate with. She is not one of those people, and that's why her album sold 2K22 sales. That's the issue. Looks are not enough. Looks, like I said earlier in this video, will get you into the room, but they will not get you a seat at the table. You need to be able to bring something to the table in order for people to support you. Saweetie was built like Precious, rapping like that.
Get it twisted, I'll outsmart your chick in a New York minute. But let's get it clear, cause I rest in the West, from the Bay to LA, Sacramento, stay blessed. Yes, and I can't forget Diego. Got girls out there that's getting major pesos, better lay low.
Bitch, you better believe her ass would be rapping in the fucking New York City subway. That's what she would be doing because most people wouldn't pay her any mind if she was built like Precious, rapping like this. Nicki Minaj is a great example because Nicki Minaj is beautiful. She's always been beautiful, always been an absolutely gorgeous woman, and we know this. But Nicki Minaj is also vivacious. She's also very charismatic, very blunt. She has a lot of wisdom, and she literally thinks about every single thing she says. Nicki Minaj is very well spoken, and she actually says something that makes people feel things, and that's why people connect with her as an individual, and they also connect with her craft because her art is actually really, really good. So people connect with her for who she is. But if I were to tell you what's your favorite Saweetie quote, most of you guys couldn't tell me. If I were to ask you what's your favorite Mariah Carey quote, most of you guys would probably name one, but we can't name a Saweetie quote. We can't name any quote that Saweetie can say that has you like, whoa. And listen, when Cardi B first came into the scene, I was a really big fan of her. Cardi B's music was poo-poo caca mixed with diarrhea mixed with shit when she first came out. Of course, she's improved ever since, hence why she's a big star now, but Cardi B is also attractive, but not too pretty. She's just decently attractive. But the one thing about Cardi B is that we all gravitated towards her image. If you knew about Cardi B before she became this big star that she is today, we knew Cardi B had an image and a brand that we all vibed with. Cardi B was known for saying real shit. She was known for being blunt and real, and she's funny and entertaining. Saweetie would just be better off just using her looks to get what she wants. But unfortunately, her looks aren't enough to gravitate and elevate in music. So Saweetie is literally just a collectible item of a Jordan. She's literally just a Jordan that literally sits on your nightstand. She's nothing more than just a vase. That's why most people who are pretty are usually very much gold diggers and players because they can use their looks to get through to you, but their personality and their vibe and energy is usually just trash. It's very rare that you meet somebody who's very attractive and their vibe matches their attractivity on the outside. And that's all I got to say on that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys see where I'm coming from, and I hope you were able to kind of get the gist of what I was saying. But that's all I got to say on that. Keep sure to like, comment, subscribe. Give your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch.
Cause he is the truth, yeah, he is so real, and I love the way that he makes me feel, and if I am my reflection of him, then I must be fly, because his light shines so bright. No, I love the way he speaks, I love the way he feels. I love the way that he treats his mama. I love that gap in between his teeth. I love him in every way that a woman could love him. From herself and universal. And most of all is unconditional. That's the way it feels. Ooh. There ain't no substitute for the truth. Either it is or it isn't. You see, the truth, it needs no rule. Either it is or it isn't. Nothing falls down the way you feel. Oh, and if I am my impression of him, there must be fly, because it's light shines so bright. I wouldn't hide.